Today we're here to talk about cordless drills, but I couldn't resist the temptation to talk a little bit about the history of drilling and boring holes before we get into the practical aspects about how to maximize the usefulness of cordless drills like I have right here. Among the earliest forms of hand drilling were sticks that had either flint mounted to the end of them or mineral abrasives like sand would be put on the surface of whatever someone was trying to drill to, and then by hand it was rotated back and forth to drill or bore holes through things like shell for decorative purposes, to be able to string them onto a piece of leather or sinew. Sometime around the 15th century, augers were in regular use, and like this T-handled auger, they were hand-driven. This particular auger has what's called a self-feeding screw on the end of it. So positive downward pressure, clockwise rotation, and one could cut precision holes into materials like wood. The next major innovation in drilling and boring was the introduction of a tool in the 15th century called the brace. And it was a big innovation because it had interchangeable bits that were held in place by a two-jawed chuck. And it also had a ratcheting system that allowed it to be rotated clockwise or counterclockwise. And this was particularly useful if you were working in a confined space that wouldn't allow you the full range of a 360-degree rotation. So we see the same self-feeding screw as we saw on the hand auger. So the material's aligned with the hole. Again, good downward pressure, clockwise rotation. And again, the ratcheting function allowed one to be able to work inside of a confined space, which again was a huge innovation. The ratcheting function is adjusted here, so it could be reversed to extract the bit from the hole. Another innovation in drilling and boring was the introduction of push drills in the mid-19th century. This particular push drill does not have a jawed chuck like the bracing bit, but simply holds the bit in place through compression. The huge advantage of this tool is that it didn't require the range of movement that a brace did in order to be able to bore holes, because it was done through the action of a spindle that was raised and lowered, raised and lowered to drill through our material. Then it was extracted by turning the tool counterclockwise. A more contemporary version of the push drill is this model, which is, I want to say, it's probably from the 1920s or 1930s. And again, it utilizes the same technology, but this one comes with the capacity to be able to reverse direction of rotation and has bit storage in the top of the tool. The spring return allows for more efficient use. Geared hand drills like this were innovative for at least two reasons. First and foremost, by utilizing gear systems, there was less force required or less torque required to be able to bore larger diameter holes. The three-jaw chuck And the invention of twist bits that had smooth shanks was also a major innovation. And this particular model also had bit storage in the top of the handle.